Shall we start? Good to go? Okay. So, good evening, dear members. I would like to start with the quote that there is always one thing to learn. Okay, the more we learn, the more we get curious. As parents of children with special needs, it is essential that we are empowered with the correct knowledge and facts. Okay, so and continuing the tradition of talk with us, we bring this topic of sensory systems and diet, where today we will be, with the help of Dr. Kinjal, we'll be understanding about different forms of sensory systems and what kind of diet should be given. And just all the parents, I would request कि हर बच्चे के लिए वो जो भी sensory diet बताएंगे, जो मैम बता रहे हैं, in general, and future we have to take consultation for the specific need of your child, but ये in general हमें सब पता होना चाहिए. Okay, having said that, I would like to say a few words about our speaker tonight. So Dr. Kinjal Chandra, she is a pediatric occupational therapist and founder of Pehel Pediatric Development Center in Mumbai. With over 15 years of experience, she holds advanced certification in sensory integration and handwriting without tears and many more. She is recognized nationally, having received many prestigious awards, including her advocacy for early intervention and detection. She also conducts workshops for parents and professionals. So, on behalf of our whole autism family, online family, we would love to welcome you. So, over to you, Doctor.
And Chaitra, if you don't mind, I would like to just take 2 minutes before Kinjal starts.
Sure.
For all, Kinjal has been part of a group for a while now. And other than all her professional accolades and academic accolades, what I know about her as a professional, as a therapist, is she's an extremely compassionate person. And I don't say it just because I've heard it from somebody, I can say it by the long telephonic calls I had with her when she used to call and she was upset about some special education thing not happening right. And apart being an otis, she wanted to understand that how can she help her children with the special ed part. And I remember those calls, it used to be with so much of pain and compassion. So one thing I can watch for her, that she's an extremely compassionate therapist. And definitely she's here to present, so you will come to know how good she is at her work too. So Kinjal, over to you. And thank you for doing this. I was looking forward for this talk too.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you, Chaitra ma'am and Sarika ma'am, for this amazing introduction that you gave and for all the kind words that you had to say about me. And I hope that I'll live up to your expectation for today's topic. And I'm equally excited to be addressing this amazing group of mothers and other professionals. I'm expecting a mixed bag of OTs or special educators and parents coming together. And whenever I take a talk like that, I tell all the participants, for the coming whatever 45 minutes, let us all forget who we are. Like, I'm a doctor, I'm a parent, I'm this, whoever. We are going to be kids and we are going to step into their world, and let's understand how does it feel from their world, so that we'll be able to better help them. Yeah. And I'm open to questions. We are here to learn, make mistakes, be open, just do anything, but we are just here कि हम कुछ आज यहाँ से कुछ सीख के जाएंगे, हमारा माइंडसेट थोड़ा और बड़ा करके जाएंगे, और नए टूल्स के साथ we'll be in a better position to help our kids. Yeah. But so when I ask a question, feel free to answer, even if you are wrong. Nobody's judging anybody over here. Yeah. So with that, we begin our today's topic, which is sensory diet. And when I say sensory diet, it is a very, very big topic. A easier topic, as in 1 second, huh? 1 second. Yeah. So easier topic in a way कि हाँ, we know there is something called a sensory diet, and हम activities करते हैं and everything, but why do we do it? What do we do it? And like Chaitra ma'am rightly said, today whatever we learn, it is not that we can apply it to our children. We need somebody who will assess our children and help us find out कि हम क्या activities किसके साथ कर सकते हैं. So let's begin. So let's take an example of an orange. You are holding an orange in your hand. How do you know it's an orange? Let's just start talking.
Smell.
By touching, seeing, and taste,
Smelling.
smell.
Yes. Yes. So even if I blindfold you, you'll still be able to say it's an orange because you know it smelled a particular way. If I don't let you touch it, yet you will be able to kind of smell and let me know. So you are using your visual system, your tactile system, everything coming together like puzzle pieces, and it lets us know that this is an orange. So there is the sensory input. Ah, 1 second. Now my machine is having a problem today. Yeah, so there is a sensory input that goes in, because of which our brain processes it. It understands, it goes back to all its memories of what it felt last time when it saw a particular thing like that, and it gives an output of an orange. So this was just orange. This is applies to all the things that we learn, be it a cognitive skill, be it a motor skill, be it a sensory thing. Everything works in this way. So that is how we make sense of the world. So, how many sensory systems do we have? Let all of us know.
So participants
You
can
can
unmute
chat.
and answer, yeah, or use the chat box or whatever.
Yes. Yes. Oh,
5.
great. Somebody
8.
said 8 senses. Amazing. How many of us feel that we have 5? So far, only 5. Yes. So most of us know that we have 5 sensory systems. There are 3 which are hidden sensory systems. That is where the major magic begins, or the work lies, that an OT does, or as a parent we'll be doing with our children. So the first hidden sensory system is the vestibular system. And that I have put a little medical jargon here for you all to understand what I'm trying to say, because this system that you see, the canals over there, it is there in our inner ear. There's a fluid in it which acts like a spirit level, which tells me where my head is, where my body is in space, and helps me understand the sense of movement and balance. It gives information about position of head and body in space, and this is one of the major system that we target in sensory diet, which helps us in alerting and calming both. An example will be, we do surfing, we do roller coaster rides. This is all, it targets the vestibular system. So next time when you hear that I'm talking about alerting and calming, vestibular system is one system that we'll be working on, which is there in the inner ear, and it lets me know where my head is in space. Next is the proprioceptive system, which is also a hidden system. It is found in the muscles. It's also found in the tendons that we have, and it is the information that is sent to the brain. Now tell me, if you all are sitting on a chair and you all are just about to fall, you're on the edge of the chair. What is it that tells you that aap abhi gir jaoge? There is a thing in the muscles which gives inputs, something, I'm in an uncomfortable position. The muscles send that input to the brain, and the brain then tells us ki seedhe baith jao. But with our children, that input is going, either our child is not registering, or the inputs are not strong enough for the brain to process it, or the brain is not processing it, or that is why we are not getting an output which is expected from the child that time. Yeah. So that's the proprioceptive system. It helps us know where our body parts are in space without using our visual system. We don't have to see, "Arey, main aise baiti hu." We just know it. So it helps us again with calming and organizing. So next time we want a child who's very restless and we want him or her to calm down and organize themselves, it's the proprioceptive system that we will be using. An example will be like pani puri. When I'm eating it, how much of it is in my water, is it in my mouth? Will I be able to hold it, or will it fall down? After I have drank the water, what is left in my mouth? The puris, are they crisp? Where should I push it? All of that is all being guided by this system. Okay, next one. Interoceptive system. So this is also a hidden system. Now tell me, what is it that tells us that you are hungry, you are sleepy, you are fatigued, or you have sore muscles, or you want to use the washroom, or it is too hot, it is too cold, or you are in pain? There is no noise that comes, there's no sound that comes. It's just again those inputs which are very internal, that goes on and tells the brain. Yes, interoception. So that is that system which works and tells the brain that I'm feeling this. So most of the times you'll see our children, they are tired because they've been very restless the whole day, but they still don't understand that I am tired. They are still full of energy and doing the same thing. If they are hurt at a particular place, until unless it is too high, they won't understand that I am in pain. बिकॉज द छोटा मोटा पेन तो वो रजिस्टर भी नहीं करते हैं. So similarly, I have kids, I have seen children whom I am telling them that are you feeling hot? They say no, and I can see sweat on their forehead. And then I have to say, but I can see sweat on your forehead. And then they're like, yes, yes, it's hot. So they are not registering what the body is trying to tell them. And that happens because of our interoceptive system. And one of the biggest concern that it can lead to is susu and potty training. So they are not understanding till the bladder is totally full, and then they would want to rush and use the washroom. And if we say that wait for a while, they will either, leak ho jayega, or they'll pass it out in the pants. So that is another system that we have to take care of. So the three new systems that we've learned is the vestibular system, which is movement, proprioceptive system, which is the joints which gives us information, and the interoceptive system, which is all the internal senses that, lets us know that what my body is trying to convey. Yes. So this is sensory integration. When all the sensory systems inputs are coming together, they reach the brain. Then the brain sorts it out. So right now, when I'm talking to y'all, on one end, I have kept a phone so that I can see whom am I talking to. On one end, I have a laptop. There's an AC that is on and it is making a lot of noise. I have my hair open and I'm feeling hot. So many things are going on right now, yet I am able to focus on y'all because my reticular activating system, there's a thing in our brain which is filtering out the unwanted stuff and it's letting me focus on the most important stuff. But with our children, they are equally paying attention to all the inputs that is coming to them, which is why they can either going overwhelmed or they are not, registering any input. So we need a lot of input to go to them, or you will see them that they are very lethargic, or they are too aroused, or they are hyper aroused. So you will never see them like you and me. You and me right now are in what we call as the optimal band of arousal. We are neither too hyper, we are neither too sleepy and drowsy, we are optimally aroused, right? So when I do that, I make good sense of the external world and I'm able to understand the world better and function in the world better with the right kind of attention, the right kind of activity level, and the right kind of participation. Yeah. So sensory integration is the process by which we receive information, we organize it, we process it, and we use it to participate in everyday activities. And mind you, it is automatic and it is happening for our children as well. But the issue is at the brain level, nothing at the input level, it's at the brain. Yeah. So now, how many of you are uncomfortable going on a roller coaster ride? I am one of them. I'll immediately vomit. Anyone else? Yes. We have one or two of you. I am somebody who will need sunglasses if it is too sunny outside. Otherwise, I'll have a headache. Yes. There are people who don't like hair coming on their face. Okay, I'm okay with it, but then there are so many people who don't like it. They get hate getting messy. I'm also a person who will want to wash my hands every time. Okay, they don't like the smell of petrol. Yes. Many people love strong perfumes and smells. Many of us, the sound of chalk on the board irritates us to the core. And drinking juice with chunks in it, like Faluda. I am somebody who cannot do it. Give me a one texture thing, I'll be able to drink it. But there are 2-3 textures in it, I'll not be able to do it. Right? So do all of us experience this? Kisi ko chalta hai, kisi ko nahi chalta? Yeah. Now this is what we call as sensory preferences. अगर हमको बच्चों को हेल्प करना है, we need to know what they experience, we also experience. But the problem is they experience it at that level कि वो उसके participation को impact करता है, उनके attention को impact करता है, उनके social skills को impact करता है. Hence that needs intervention. But sensory preferences all of us have. Yeah, so this was an example of that. So this is one statistics that I have kind of gone through recently, and it is something that all of us need to know, and you can take a screenshot of this. So sensory issues or sensory processing disorder is a condition that interferes with the body's ability to receive messages from the senses, convert those messages into appropriate motor and behavioral responses. Now look at what the stats say. 1 in 20 people in general population have sensory processing disorder. That includes all of us, huh? So हम में से 20 लोग में से एक को तो किसी को है. 55.8% of neurotypical children in the age of 3 to 11 years have sensory processing disorder. And we are not talking about special needs. We are talking about neurotypicals. 98% of the children with autism have SPD. 53% of children with LD will have SPD. 40% of the children with ADHD have SPD, and 83% of children with cerebral palsy will have SPD. So sensory processing disorder, again, 53% of LD will have SPD, 40% of the children with ADHD with SPD, and 83% with cerebral palsy again. So you see the amount is very high. So it is high time we understand sensory processing disorder, the challenges, so that we'll be able to help children better. And if we have any general ed teachers over here, it is high time that we also learn about them, because neurotypicals are also experiencing this, have always been experiencing, but now it is increasing more, possibly because of the awareness and the more research that is going on into it. Yeah, so we've understood sensory processing disorder. Sensory processing disorder will be divided into 3 parts. One of it we call as sensory modulation. Modulation is like the regulator of the fan that we have in the house. So when we feel hot, we regulate it and we feel better. If it is too cold, we regulate it and then we feel better. So हम constantly वो modulate करते रहते हैं so that we are always in that homeostasis वाला level. Similarly, this applies to our children as well when it comes to arousal. So for example, let's say somebody who goes on the roller coaster ride and is experiencing vomiting like sensation. That person will get down, have a sip of water, whatever, again regulate themselves back and be okay. So, but our children are also trying to do the same things, but in not socially appropriate way. Hence, they stand out from the crowd, and hence again the need for intervention. So, sensory modulation mein you will have children who are either too responsive, जैसे a slight touch on their hand and they will be overwhelmed कि मुझे किसी ने मारा. Like a brush they try to do and they feel something is going wrong with me. So they are over responsive to small sensory stimulation. And then there'll be somebody who will be under responsive. So we have to call them like that. Then they figure out कि मुझे बुलाया जा रहा है. Or we have to call out their name at a very high pitched volume. Then they understand मुझे बुलाया जा रहा है. They get hurt, but it is like they have a blood clot. And then they figure out, oh, I am hurt. Or it's too much, like the bladder is too full, and then they understand I want to use the washroom. So they are under responsive. And then there is something called as a sensory seeker. A sensory seeker is वो बस लेते जा रहा है और पेट full हो ही नहीं रहा है. So a easier way to understand this is, let's understand that we have a cup in our body, okay? Unfortunately, I don't think so you can see the picture of it, but we have a small cup. Example, we have a large cup. Okay, now for me, my vestibular cup is pretty big, pretty small. So a little movement that goes into it and I vomit. So I have a very less, I am very over responsive to vestibular system. Similarly, my husband, he can go to the same roller coaster ride for 10 times and he's absolutely fine. So his vestibular cup is pretty big and he needs more movements to fill it. Same applies to proprioception. I am somebody who loves to be hugged. So I like tight hugs and squeezes. So the proprioception ke liye my cup is pretty big. But same with my husband example, he would not be somebody who likes to be hugged and cuddled a lot. So his cup is small. So you will see all of that in the children around as well. There are children who wants to be hugged. They don't understand with what pressure are they hugging others and all of that. And last one is what we ideally call as the hyperactive children. So they have a cup which has a hole in it. So you put movement in it and you put proprioception in it and you put tactile in it and everything flows out from the hole. So they are never full. But the other ones, na, आप थोड़ा सा movement डालोगे, थोड़ा सा proprioception डालोगे, they will be full for a while and they'll need it again. But with this whole wala, the sensory seeker, they are never full. Hence, they are most of the time running around, hopping, jumping. So you see them usually hyperactive children, right? So this is what I meant. Hyporesponsive or under-responsive, hypersensitive or hyperresponsive, and seeker. Now, this is one example of a modulation. Modulation is अगर थोड़ा सा input आ रहा है, मुझे बहुत ज़्यादा लग रहा है. So this first girl that I'm trying to show over here, I'm just trying to clean her face यहाँ पे. And look at the response that she's giving. Is it playing?
No, Kinjal.
No, it's not.
No, na? Give me a minute. Cannot play.
Probably you'll have to go full screen and then it might play.
It's not playing right now. Let's do one thing. I'll explain what that is, and if we have time at the end, I'll go to the original video and try and show.
Kinjal, just try going full screen, na? You're not full screen. You're not in the
Full screen,
presentation
that
mode.
time the thing crashed, the system crashed, hence
Then
it's
leave
not
it.
going.
Then leave it. Then leave it.
Will it go? No. So I'll just explain and we'll see the videos later. So this girl, I'm just trying to clean her face and she'll go into like a thing, okay, what are you trying to do with me? So that's modulation, that I'm giving little sensory input and she goes into overwhelm. Similarly, the other boy that you see, he's a child who has autism spectrum, who is on the autism spectrum, and he has very low arousal. So he is the child who is under responsive, जिसका cup बहुत बड़ा है. Okay, and he loves movement, and we wanted to work on writing. Now, if you have a child jiska ye issue chal raha hai, what we did is we made him sit on the platform swing. There's a small table that's kept on the swing and there's a book kept on it. And there is something called as alerting inputs that we will talk about. We used to spin the swing in alerting ways, in a way we used to go circular movements. After that is done, we used to stop him. And then after that, if we ask him to write anything, he was this quick in writing. But the writing used to happen on the swing. And he picked up A to Z on the swing, which was so difficult to be done on the floor. So this is one way to explain you how modulation works. You fill the glass with movement, the child is full, and then the output comes, and then we again give the same input. Yeah. And this is the other video that you see. Here I have a child whom I have made him wear a 3 kg weighted vest. So I'm adding proprioception. Then I'm making him go through a Lycra tunnel, which has heavy work in it. There's a big therapy ball in it, which he has to push and go. This he did it for around 15 times. And the child was still not tired. It is a long Lycra tunnel. So it is very, very difficult for these children who has a hole in their glass कि हम कितना भी input दे रहे हैं, the child is not working. So the first girl that you see has a small cup. The middle video that you see has a big cup. And the last one that you see has a cup with a hole in it. And yes, we will definitely try to see अगर हम videos देख पाए आगे. 1 minute. Yes. So again, this was a video of a child who's on the autism spectrum. Uske remedial classes chal rahe the, and the child was super restless. Again, he has a big cup for vestibular and prop. So he's come to the remedial classes after a OT session, which hardcore worked on vestibular system. And after that, we've given him the weighted vest, which he's wearing. And he's sitting on a, if you can see, there's a red color block. Uske niche, we have kept a wobble cushion. So he's getting movement. He has proprioception, and now he's focusing and working with the remedial educator, and we are getting good results. Same applies to this girl over here. 1 second. Yeah. So the second video that you see over here, this girl has emotional regulation challenges. Again, a part of modulation. She can't understand what emotion she is going through. So how do we understand that I'm angry? I understand it because I know कि मुझे यहाँ पे टेंशन फील होता है, मेरे शोल्डर्स में मुझे टेंशन फील होता है, मैं क्लेंच करती हूँ, मेरे मसल्स टाइट होने लगते हैं. We understand emotions that way. She can't understand it is anger, it is sadness, it is disappointment, what? Because of which her behaviors are usually she'll end up hitting, yelling, screaming, all socially inappropriate behaviors. So we are trying to work on something called as zones of regulation. So when I say sensory diet, na har baar wo activities ही नहीं होंगे. It can be visuals also, which is helping me understand my body better and helping me participate better in a more socially appropriate way. This girl that you see, the last one, this child is 13-year-old, absolutely non-verbal. And they had come to me for the first time. The child was used to hit me a lot and used to bite herself on the wrist. So if you see on the wrist over here, I have given her a band. So every time she used to get agitated, she used to bite on it, but not on her. She used to bite on the band and then acted as a chewy tube that helped her calm down. And she is also wearing a weighted vest. And so that she will be able to express better, we have given her a AAC. We are using a Jello app over here. So this is all happening only when my child is in a state to learn. what happens with most of our children is वो लोग उस स्टेट में ही नहीं आते हैं, हम उसको सिखा रहे हैं, हम उनको स्कूल भेज रहे हैं, हम उनको सोशल स्किल सिखा रहे हैं, and all we end up is frustration on both the parties. So once we get them to that optimal level of learning and arousal, the therapy works like magic. Then it can be remediation, it can be OT, it can be at home. Yeah. Next one. Another thing over here. So the same girl that you saw, who had challenges with me wiping her face, she finds it very difficult to open her bag and close her bag. She can't understand where the zip is and how much direction should I use to pull it. And hence, it is difficult for her to navigate in the school system as well. Just a minute, my system is giving me a problem. Give me a minute, Sarika ma'am.
No worries, Kinjal. We are there. Let me know if you would like us to share. So I think Kinjal has been facing some internet issues. We'll just wait for her to rejoin. Kinjal, can you hear me through your cell phone?
Hello, ma'am. This is Kinjal here.
Yes, Kinjal.
Yeah, I'm just trying to log in back again.
No worries, Kinjal.
I'm done. Hello. Yeah, ma'am. Am I audible now?
Yes, Kinjal, you're audible. You are
Yeah.
come on camera. It's okay if you.
Sorry for this.
No, it's absolutely fine, Kinjal. The content is just so beautiful. So don't worry about it. We can understand. Internet can be a glitch.
Yeah. Yes,
On
and
top
it's
of it,
raining
it's a
today,
rainy
so
day.
everything is going for a toss
It's a rainy
today.
day. It's a rainy day.
Yes, ma'am.
You
Yeah.
want to come
Okay,
on
okay.
camera,
Let's continue
Kinjal? You're
then.
not on
So
camera.
the
You want to come on camera or it's okay?
just a minute, ma'am. Better?
Perfect, perfect.
Yes. So the second video that you see over here, we continue again. So this is a child that I was asking to pass through the ring that you see. And the child couldn't understand if I should put my leg first or hand first or the body first or head first. So all of this happens when I don't understand how big and long my body is and how do I work along with it. Okay. So the reason we are discussing all of this is in little detail is so that the diet that we think of will make a lot of sense to parents and they will be also in a position to understand कि ये right है या wrong है, right? So the sensory processing disorder now will be divided into one like we understood the glass one, chota glass, bada glass and with the hole. And the second is with the movement based disorders wherein I don't understand how long my body is, how much should I move, what pressure should I use, all of that. And the last video that you see over here, I was trying to explain the child how to wear a sock, like a leg sock, and the child couldn't figure it out of the direction, of the pressure, everything. So you will face challenges like in learning disability also, you will see children who can't do this. So which is called as dyspraxia or praxis problem. So that is also heading from a sensory processing challenge as well. Next one. Yeah. Unfortunately, the video isn't there. But again, here we were trying to tell the child a simple thing like just put the block, like add two blocks on top of each other, and the child couldn't do it. Again, the direction and the pressure and where do I hold, all of that. And at the end, like post the therapy after a few sessions, he could do it because we worked on the right kind of sensory challenges that he was facing and with the right kind of sensory activities. Yeah. So now this is a small thing. Now suppose it's an exam time and you have to score around 80% if I ask you questions of whatever we've just learned. And you have 2 minutes for you to figure out कि थोड़ा सा break है, मैं कुछ कर सकती हूँ. So what is it that you all will do? And I want all of you all to answer. I know हम थोड़े से ऊपर नीचे जा रहे हैं आज because of the technical glitch, but let's join back. So it's an exam time. What would you do? And you have break for 2 minutes. Example, if I was at your place, I would just go and have a sip of water and come back. Drink water. Yes. Anything else?
I will sing song.
Sing a song. Anything else?
Coffee.
Sorry?
Coffee.
Drinking coffee. Someone
Drink
said.
coffee. Okay.
Walk a little.
Walk a little, stretch a little. Yeah. So everything that we are doing, जो आपने मुझे बोला, are ways to regulate yourself. And that involved movement if you saw. So किसी का movement was there and along with that an oral system came into picture like sipping water. किसी का movement and stretching came into, so prop came into picture. किसी का vestibular came and somebody said, example, like me, I might speak to somebody on the phone that I'm super anxious, wish me luck, I'm going. So I will involve that. So we also use these kind of strategies which are called as diet जो अब हम देखेंगे that helps us to regulate. Now the reason I've written Mentos, eclairs, water and fidget toys, there are people, how many of you over here will choose कि मैं ये 2 मिनट के break में Mentos खाऊंगी? Some people will say मैं eclair खाऊंगी. कौन eclairs खाएगा? Let's raise our hands or say yes or just send a thumbs up. Eclairs. Yes. How many of you for Mentos? Yes. अभी जिसने इक्लेयर्स के लिए बोला ना, like including me, so I would want something जो बहुत gummy है और chewy है. That helps, gives my proprioceptive, the sensors over on near my jaw, that helps me maintain my alertness level. That is why you see cricketers are constantly chewing onto those chewing gums because it helps them with better attention and focus. And then there are another set of people who would want Mentos, which is like a working on the olfactory system, on your oral system. It is this burst of smell that it gives you that also works on your alertness. So हम भी कैसे कितने smart हैं that we use our body in regulating and keeping ourselves alert for whatever task is supposed to come in the end for us, and so that we give our best and we participate to the best of our potential. Now somebody who will, like me, who will drink a cup of coffee or drink water is also using oral system to calm myself down, because I am getting agitated now and getting excited, or whatever, nervous. And somebody will use fidget toys because there's excess energy which is coming into me, and I'm getting that out with the use of those fidget toys. So everybody will use something else, and hence sensory diet cannot be copy pasted from one child to another until unless you understand their body and their sensory system and preferences. Yeah. So now the major part comes. So once we are clear with all of this, that's when we know that, we need to give some sensory diet to our children. So till this, anybody has any issues with understanding what is sensory processing, what is sensory integration, what are those cups, what are those movement-based challenges that they have? Anything issue over there?
Monica, you have a question or you have a suggestion?
Yes, ma'am, I have a question.
Go ahead.
Yes.
Ma'am, you said modulation. Modulation have both cups, big cup or small cup, or modulation have only one cup? Is it big or small?
Yeah. So great
Regarding all
question.
senses or regarding some particular senses?
Yeah. So see, I gave you my example wherein I had a small cup with vestibular and a big cup with proprioception, and again a very small cup with the oral system. So you can have a mixture of those. You can also have a big cup when it comes to vestibular example, as in I need a lot of movement, but I'm equally scared to go on a swing. So I'm showing a mixture of big and small both. So I will, as an occupational therapist, sit with the parent, ask certain questions. There's something called a sensory profile, which will be done. You all might be aware of that, wherein there are questions that are asked, and then scoring is done. And then we figure out oral system is a major problem, vestibular is a major problem, tone is a major problem, and accordingly we work on that.
Okay.
Does that
Ma'am,
give you?
yes, ma'am. Ma'am, emotional dysregulation and verbal stimming, including saying words again and again, that comes in modulation of hypersensitivity or hyposensitivity.
Okay. Now, stimming is a way in which I'm calming myself down. And if I'm repeating the same thing over and over, possibly if I am a child who doesn't have a lot of language and I want to express something to you, it can be pain, it can be discomfort. I don't have the right words, so I'm just saying whatever I know. So when you find a child just speaking something and it's making no sense, that means वहाँ वो कुछ भी नहीं मांग रहा है हमसे. He's trying to express something जो हम नहीं समझ पा रहे and he doesn't have the right vocabulary to say. So that can be one of the reasons. Stimming definitely tells me that I am a little stressed or I am too happy and I'm trying to calm myself down. But it is nowhere related to the cup, as in I will have to again dive deeper to figure out कि आज का दिन कैसा था, आज उसका नींद कैसा हुआ है, आज खाना कैसा था, everything, and then might be in a position to answer that.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay. Anybody else? Otherwise, we go ahead with the sensory diet.
No, please go ahead, Kinjal. Okay.
Okay. So now that we know everything about this, the classes and everything, so now comes to the major point of sensory diet. And now that we know हम भी खुद वो diet लेते हैं without knowing the term. And there's a reason why we say sensory diet. So first of all, it's a personalized plan of activities designed to help individuals manage their sensory needs, maintain optimal arousal throughout the day, and according to each child's needs and family routine and resources, हमको वो बनाना पड़ता है. So if a child who's staying in the US will have different set of routines and resources, मैं बोलूँ उसका ही plan copy paste करके Indian culture में मैं करूँगी, it will not work. और a South Indian client को हम like another उसमें culture में करेंगे तो वो नहीं होगा. So you have to take care of all of that. Now, like we already know, when we work on sensory diet, it will affect learning, attention, and behavior, and that is exactly what we want. One second. We need to reshare again. No, we should.
Kinjal, the way you've simplified the concepts, it's like me being a visual person, now I can only see those 3 cups. It's just such a
And
visual.
that's when the magic starts happening, that you don't take it in a way that there are many young therapists who feel that the child is trying to trouble me, even young parents for that matter. But the child is himself in trouble, and hence they are trying to, show it. And that's when we understand its cups, and then we wear those glasses, and then you understand it so much better.
Beautiful.
Just a minute. Is it showing, ma'am, the slides?
It's still the screen share has started. We can't see it yet.
Okay. Ma'am, I'm doing one thing. I am sending you the PPT, if you can share.
We'll do that.
I don't know what is going wrong here.
That's okay, Kinjal. It's just a bad internet day.
Yeah.
You see the PPT, actually we can just listen. That's also fine.
I put in so much efforts to get those videos and edit their faces and everything so that this becomes a wholesome experience, but
Kinjal,
somehow
you're
it's
gonna
not working
email it
today.
to me or WhatsApp? What are you gonna do? Acha, I could see it.
WhatsApp.
Okay, you can stop sharing and I'll do that.
Yeah.
Just waiting for it to download and then I'll start sharing. Do you want me to show any of the videos, Kinjal, or we can move to the further
I
slide?
don't think so the videos will play. Are they? No, na?
Okay,
Yeah, we'll go ahead.
no worries. This is good. This is very
Yes, yes. Perfect, perfect. So now the sensory diet, the term was also coined by an occupational therapist. And it's a very famous brushing protocol that also they have invented, which is called as the Wilbarger's protocol, which we will talk about as the session progresses. The sensory diet is used both as a treatment strategy as well as a preventive tool. And it is modified over time as the sensory processing changes and the environmental demands shift. Yeah. Next one, ma'am. Now, why do we call it diet? So all of us, including me, when I was young, I used to feel, is it related to food? So it is not food, but like our body needs dietary nutrition to function and thrive, sensory diet is like nutrition for our central nervous system, which is the brain and all the nerves and everything, with the right combination of different sensory inputs to maintain arousal. So now that we know why are we using all of this, ताकि हम nutrition हमारे brain को दे पाएं in the right, I would say, very measured quantities, and we get the right kind of output. Next one. So how does sensory diet work? It helps individuals manage their sensory processing challenges by providing opportunities for input. हमको environment ऐसा करना है, ऐसा simulation लाना है that we give that kind of input which the body needs, which the child does not understand, or he or she is taking it in a wrong way, so that he takes it in the right way and offers calming or organizing input. It reduces sensory defensiveness It increases focus and attention and promotes emotional regulation. Now, all these are dry pointers, but just imagine now, if I am somebody who has this small cup, jisko movement ka is a cup is small, my prop cup is small, I go to school, constantly there is somebody or else who's teaching me something, some child is sitting next to me, वो मुझे brush कर रहा है, किसी ने कुछ perfume लगाया है, my cup is overflowing. On top of it, I did not have a good night's sleep, so that cup उसमें already भरा हुआ था. Then suppose in the morning mama gave me breakfast which I don't like, तो वो और एक उस कप में भरा हुआ है. So little things that happen in the school and our cup is overflowing. So obviously I will not be in a calm and organized zone. I will have defensiveness to most of the things. I will have challenges with focus and attention, obviously emotional regulation. So if my everything is going right, then all of these pointers the child will be excelling in. Next one. Yeah. Similarly, sensory diet will have certain fundamentals when we prescribe it. Okay. Number one, what is the frequency? मतलब दिन में कितनी बार हमको ये लेना है? What is the intensity? An example will be if I tell you that you have to make your child sit on the swing. Now, if you sit on the swing and swing, versus when you go on your tummy and you go on the swing and you swing, versus if you are on your back and you are swinging, it is providing different intensity of vestibular input. And you will see the children who are too restless, they will be indulging in all this danger like movement on the swing and we feel, अरे बाबा गिर जाएगा. But that is where the उनको cup is इतना बड़ा है that they want it to be that intense and we stop it. So हम intensity कितना दें, ड्यूरेशन कितना दें. Many a times पेरेंट्स से एक बार झूले पे बैठता है वो उतरता ही नहीं है और मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम्स वो बैठने को ही रेडी नहीं होते हैं. सो कितने ड्यूरेशन में दें, क्या हमको चीजों पे ध्यान देना है जब हमको बोल सकते हैं कि अब हमको नीचे उतारना है. व्हाट इज द टाइमिंग दैट वी शुड बी डूइंग इन द मॉर्निंग, शुड बी डूइंग इन द इवनिंग, फॉर हाउ लॉन्ग, and it should be incorporated in play and daily tasks, and we should be recording behavioral changes. Now, one thing that I would want all the professionals and parents to know, sensory diet na, it cannot be like चलो अभी हम बैठेंगे और sensory diet लेंगे. No, it has to be flowing in the day, as if you are weaving all those activities in the daily life of the child. And that's how what we learn कि हम वो कैसे कर सकते हैं, right? When you talk about intensity, usually the child will himself tell you कि मुझे कितना intense चाहिए, by like I told you with the position in which they go through. And suppose I have a child who's seeking a lot of vestibular stimulation, वो उल्टा गया पेट पे and is spinning like that. I will be observing the child for any flush that I see on the face. Because अगर वो आया pinkishness over here, or I see the child will be laughing a lot suddenly, I know that it's time to stop because the child is going in overwhelm or the child is hyper aroused and it will be very difficult for me to get him back. So there are these kind of signs that the child will show me. Next one. Yeah. So see, now that we know that we have 8 sensory systems, वो सब sensory systems में हम diet दे सकते हैं. So olfactory के लिए, smell related, oral के लिए, खाना related, vestibular के लिए, movement related. Now we know all of that. But then they are majorly divided into 2 types. One is an alerting and one is calming. हम भी वही कर रहे थे. When I said that you have to go for an exam, we all had to get our alertness high. And for somebody like me who will become anxious, I had to calm myself down. So accordingly, I did those activities so that I can perform better. So let's talk about alerting activities specifically for those children who are low on energy, lethargic, lost in their world, not very attentive to tasks at hand, need a lot of repetition so that they can perform. So we can use these activities there. So when do you use these activities? Before learning tasks to improve focus and attention. Like you saw in that video, जिसमें मैंने बोला कि वो बच्चे को हमने swing पे बिठाया था, we used to spin and then he had to write. So whenever I want that increased focus and attention, I'll use it to help regulate energy levels throughout the day. When a child seems sluggish or withdrawn, to help children transition between activities, and as a part of sensory diet to meet individual needs. Now the girl that I spoke to you about, the 13-year-old who used to hit herself, for me to transition her from sitting ke utho abhi hum swing pe jayenge was a task. So every time we had to do that, we figured out that she loves vestibular movement and she loves visuals. So we used to dim the whole, we used to kind of darken the whole room, and we used to make her sit in a small den that we had made, and I had a small huge pillow that I had, usse main usko pressure deti thi, and we had a pop-up tube jisme lights the. And then we used to give that sensory diet to her. We figure it out. Now she's fine. And then we used to ask her, Arya, झालं का? आता आपण जाऊया? A non-verbal girl also used to push that pillow and get up. Chalo, mera ho gaya. Now tell me what do you want me to do? So it takes a while, it takes patience, but then they also figured out कि मेरा खाना इतना मुझे मिल गया है. Tell me what do I need to do? Yeah. Next slide, ma'am. So alerting activities and calming activities, there's a whole list. Okay, उसमें से मैंने कुछ लिए हैं. Again, you all can take screenshot of that. But again, हमको देखना पड़ेगा कब क्या use करना है. So alerting में क्या क्या आएगा? Jumping. If you talk about vestibular system, तो trampoline jumps, jumping jacks, dancing. Again, the music has to be very upbeat. Obstacle courses, जिसमें running, climbing, movements हैं. Freeze dancing. Sensory circuits, जिसमें हमने एक obstacle course बनाया हुआ है, जिसमें पहले वॉल पुशअप्स करेंगे, फिर स्कूटर बोर्ड पे जाएंगे, स्विंगिंग करेंगे. एनी एक्सरसाइज जिसमें हम लोग एक क्विक जॉग पे जा रहे हैं, कुछ ट्रैक कर रहे हैं, गार्डनिंग जैसा कुछ कर रहे हैं. ओरल स्टिमुलेशन लाइक चूइंग गम, सकिंग ऑन अ लॉलीपॉप, ईटिंग क्रंची स्नैक्स कैन बी यूज्ड. 1 second. Yeah. Lightning can be bright and flashy if you want to alert the child. And scents like citrus or mint scents, like somebody said, मैं Mentos खाऊंगी because it helps me get my alertness high. And vibration, using a vibratory toy or a massager which can provide alerting input. Now let's अभी हम देखते हैं एक बच्चा who has gotten up in the morning. And this child has, after my example assessment, I figured out the child is usually low on energy, does not want to get up, goes under the pillows and the sheets when the mother tries her to, get up, go for the school. तो हम सेंसरी डाइट इसमें कैसे इंकॉर्पोरेट करेंगे? इट विल स्टार्ट फ्रॉम द बेड. वो उठा ना, वहां से ही माइट बी वी पुट द ब्लैंकेट्स, हमारे जो कर्टन्स है वो हम हटा देंगे सो द ब्राइट लाइट इज कमिंग इन. उठा वैसे ही हम उसको उठा के देयर इज अ म्यूजिक दैट इज गोइंग ऑन जो थोड़ा अपबीट है. We go to the washroom and then the child has given a vibratory brush so that it awakens my oral cavity, my oral system. We can give that child a good strong toothpaste to use, because like a mint based, because wo bhi mujhe alert karega. Then the child comes out. When I am sitting for breakfast, I'll be giving more crunchy food, jaise a crispy dosa or a chakri or a khakra. That also helps me kind of get alert. So all throughout the day, I will be weaving those sensory diet activities into it so that my alertness is always at the optimal level. I go to the school, I know that this child is lethargic and low on tone and low on energy. I will be giving a lot of movement breaks. I will be giving him a modified seat to sit on. So it all will go throughout the day. Next one, ma'am. Now, sensory equipments that can be used, or little more activities that can be alerting, that parents can invest in, are swings, spinning chairs, dizzy discs, rocking chair or horse, balance boards, rope ladder, bed sheet. That can be, the child can sit on the bed sheet on the floor and we are pulling the child from one room to another, or you as a parent are sitting on the bed sheet and the child is pulling you from one room to another. That can also be used. Bouncing on the ball, hanging, cycling, rough play. See, these days, most of the parents are busy, both of them. So when we, in the night when we are meeting, at least 1 hour before the bed, if we can indulge in rough play wherein we are just picking the child up, piggy banking them, and then, they are crashing, we take a pillow and we are fighting with them, it gives them good proprioceptive input as well, and it gradually becomes calming. And I'm not saying immediately before sleeping, because वो alerting भी हो रहा है. So gradually हम उसको wind down करेंगे and then the child can go off to sleep. And it is a fun way, not that मुझे sensory diet लेना है, 10 times pillow fight करना है, not like that. It has to go with the flow and the child should be enjoying. Crunchy food items. You can make the child, roll the child like how you drape a mummy, like those Egyptians mummies. So पूरा drape कर दिया, gives me a good proprioceptive input, and then फिर मैं ऐसे जोर से खींचूंगी, like we pull a top. When we were young, we used to play with that top and the string. So the child is rolling और उसको unfold कर रहे हैं हम. So the child is enjoying, it's a game, and he is getting vestibular input as well, which is like a spinning movement, and the child is alert as well. And all of this is happening might be before going to school. So when the child goes to school, he's in alert zone and he has had fun with the parent and he's going. Similarly, somersaults, pencil roll, which is the child lies on the floor and he's just rolling from one point to another and he's transferring something. using a vibrating toothbrush. Again, I told you about the toothpaste. When he's going for a bath, we can use a loofah with different textures. You get these body washes which has gotten certain, what do you say, those particles in it. So they can be used for increasing arousal again. Wobble cushion can be used, scooter board can be used, hammock swings, basket rides and hopscotch. Now, ये सब में से ना in the Indian household हमारे पास सब नहीं होता. So some jugards that we can do that I have usually thought of is, if you don't have like a dizzy disc with which you sit and then it spins, how about taking a big kadai, okay, and asking the child to sit in that kadai, and then you're taking the child from one point to another, or you are spinning the child in that kadai. It's also acting like a spinning chair. हम जो utensils धो के रखते हैं, that basket that we have, उसके अंदर if we put some heavy stuff, and then the child is, we tie a dupatta or a sari onto it, and the child is sitting at the other end and he's supposed to pull it from one point to another. That is also a good jugaad that can be done rather than investing in the equipments that we just mentioned. So think of different ways that we can use sensory diet. Yeah, next one, ma'am. Similarly, the calming activities. So there are certain equipments that we use and the activities. We can again take a screenshot of this. So a body sock is one thing that we use. I'll show you, I have a picture of that in the coming slides. There's a boy that I'm seeing on the, he has ADHD along with autism, and he's facing a lot of challenge when it comes to speech and remediation because it involves a lot of sitting. So when he comes to the OT session, we use the body sock and we use heavy weights. I'll show you what that is. And then the child immediately after the OT session is over, wearing those equipments, goes to the remedial educator in the body sock with the weight. And then the participation is so much better. Same applies to the speech therapist as well. So a weighted vest. So anything where there is resistance to the body, or where there is weight on the body, or there is compression given to the body, is all going to help you calm down. So a weighted soft toy, a weighted blanket, a crash pad, spandex undergarments, carry heavy laundry from one point to another, pushing a cart, cleaning furnitures. So see, these days, kids are also busy and we have house help. But simple things like brooming and sweeping and vacuuming is all heavy work for children. And we used to do it as children when we were young, and it used to help us. So if we can get our children involved in all of this, you have had put like washed your clothes in the washing machine, ask the child to pull all of them out and collect them in a bucket, push that bucket from one point to another and give you one cloth by another. You're working on language, you're working on receptive language, and there is participation going on, and the child is learning some life skill as well. So sensory diets can be used this way as well. Also, we had a kid who used to go to school and chew onto her collar, her t-shirt, her sleeves. So we used to give her something called as a chewy necklace or a chewy tube, which we used to tie as a necklace, and the child can take it out, chew onto it, feel better, and again put it back. Squeezy hugs can be given, sensory bins can be used, animal walks can be used, sucking on smoothies, anything which is thick, when we suck onto it. That is why, going to a coffee shop and we are having a cold coffee, it's usually calming because the coffee shops also have those dim lights. You have a friend sitting with you and you're gradually sipping onto that cold coffee. So that helps you calm down. So in my sessions, again, I'll say when I have a restless child, I'll ask the parent to give me a water bottle with a thinner straw. After every activity, I'll see to it that the child is sipping onto little water, and trust me, it works wonders. Yeah, sensory bins can be used. Gardening is a great way that we can help children work on the proprioception basically. So go and collect certain twigs and leaves, and try to kind of differentiate them, sort them, dig something into it, climb onto something, get down from something. A slow chant music that can be used, dimmed lights can be used, massage can be used, and slow rocking can be used. So these are all calming activities that can be done. Next one, ma'am. So before we use the sensory knowledge that we had, और उसको हम एक sensory diet के form में बच्चों को दें, there are certain points that we need to remember. It has to be tailor made by a skilled OT who understands sensory system in and out. Because many a times it will look like a behavior, but it will be sensory. or it will be sensory and we will not be able to figure out with the big cup or the small cup, or is it modulation, is it regulation, is it registration, what is it? Activities that may suit one child may not work for another. Why? We just saw with that experiment that I chose eclairs, somebody else chose Mentos. So we have those preferences, and not all strategies work always. So today you tried this particular thing and it worked, and the same child in the evening, the same thing is not working because the child is overwhelmed with the whole day ka stressors. So you will have to keep shifting according to what you see in the child. The efficiency of sensory diet depends on child's sensory processing that day, the environment and the demands on that child. It has to be modified at regular intervals, and your state as parents matter. Now suppose I am a parent and I'm in a rush in the morning कि मुझे sensory diet भी करना है, मुझे school भी भेजना है, बस जल्दी जल्दी कर लो. It is not going to give you results. You have to be in that state of connectedness, attunement with your child, so that the child carries it forward for the whole day ahead. Otherwise वो भी उसी restless energy को ही लेके जाएंगे, even if you did a good heavy work. It's not just a motor experience, but an emotional one too when you're doing sensory diet with your children, and you have to weave the sensory diet activities into daily routine. Next one, ma'am. Yeah, again. So the first video that you see over here, there's a swing so this kid who's in the swing, Areva, it's playing. He was very restless. He used to come to me and push his chin onto my body to an extent that I used to get body. So that's a little song that I have put, but in the clinic also we had put soft music. There's a weighted toy that I have put in his lap. I have totally hugged him and given him a tight squeeze, and we are doing slow swings. You can see this. And I was singing slow rhymes as well. And even if he was that restless, look at the state that I am in. I am calm. Yeah, so this is a calming activity that we are doing. Next one, this is the clinic. We have 3 children in the group session. Is it working? The second one?
The video is not there.
Okay. So basically, I think the photo was self-explanatory. It's gone. So we had dimmed the lights. We had a projector which had those star kind of lights, and all the 3 children, one was on the swing, others were on different swings, and we had that light going on, and that was calming them down. So the clinic also has to be modified, and the AC was as cool as possible because it helps them calm better. And the last one that you see is the girl, 13-year-old that I was talking about, Arya. So see, I'm giving her that pressure with that pillow, and now I'm using that pull toy which has lights in it. After a while, when she's calm, she pushes it away and then she starts working. And after a while, she'll again go back and sit in, telling me that I want pressure and I want to play with that toy. And now she's using the AC to say, I want to go. Yes. Next one, ma'am. Yeah. So this is the boy that we were talking about. He used to say all the rhymes in the world, but if you tell him say Bapa, he will not imitate. And again, if you see, we have made him sit on the platform swing. We are using movement, and after that, we are asking him to sing, and the arousal is better and is picking up action rhymes as well. And then the therapist is trying to interact and play. And this is the picture of the boy that I said who was not settling in the remedial sessions and the speech sessions. So he's wearing this pink color body sock, and there's a weighted toy that he's there on his body, which is around 3 to 4 kgs. And I'm trying to work on picture comprehension because that's what the speech therapist had told me. And ma'am, can you help me out here? So that's how a good sensory integration session or a sensory diet, if you do at home, will look. And yet it is complex. There are days when, I know everything under the sun I feel and I'm struggling, but, we figure it out gradually.
Kinjal, I am speechless.
Super.
The way you have simplified SI, the way you have spoken about sensory diet. I mean, I'm getting messages on my personal chat, ma'am, this is an awesome session. And I feel like telling them, focus on the session, message me later,
I'm so sorry for the glitch, ma'am. I'm
No, Kinjal,
really
you
sorry
don't
for
have
that.
to be. You don't have to be. See, glitch is something that we can't even remember about, compared to what knowledge you've shared, the way you've educated, sensory diet, in spite of being working for so long, the way you've simplified sensory diet. And the thing I like, for all the participants and members, what she beautifully said is bring it in the natural flow. The natural flow is a beautiful takeaway, don't have to force it. It should be very natural. And then only it becomes a sensory diet. So that is just a beautiful takeaway, Kinjal. So
Thank you, ma'am.
they
So
would,
just a little thing I will want to add.
go
As
ahead.
a therapist, I'm sure ma'am you'll agree. And as parents, first of all, we need to know what are we experiencing. Are we in an overwhelm? What do we do to regulate ourselves so that we'll be able to co-regulate our children better? So what you saw me do with all the children over there was co-regulation. And not that I was equally anxious. There are clips wherein you will see me sweating, but then I do take a break, I calm myself down, and then we start working again. It's not easy. I don't say it is easy, but after a while, it will become like a second nature to you. So try doing that and look at the magic that happens post that.
That's a beautiful takeaway, like we say in a layman's term that children can feel your anxiety level, our neurodiverse children can feel how you are feeling. So, they're reflection of what you feel. So, very beautifully you explained it through the SI part as well. So, Kinjal, I had a question here. I wanted to ask, so when we talk about the bowl or the uh, glass with holes in it, and you said, you keep on putting things in it, because why I'm asking it, many of our children have ADHD concerns. What do you do with these children?
Yes. So be it with the whole thing or the small or the big cup, it is just a analogy to kind of tell
Yes,
you that.
yes.
But what we are trying to work on is getting that small cup a little bigger and the big cup a little smaller and plug that hole a little. Now, how is if I am a child with ADHD and I need a lot of vestibular, I will be giving that amount of vestibular for a good amount of time and then modulating it to a little lesser and lesser level. There's also something in OT what we call as just right challenge. So today example, you need swinging for 15 minutes and post that you were in a position to focus. I will be using proprioception along with it later on because that helps me calm down faster. And then swinging a little lesser and then more than swinging, something which is active movement. It is at the end movement, but it is active. So it is working on my muscles. It is giving me the prop. It is channelizing my energy and gradually clogging that hole that is there. So it's a process, ma'am. And unfortunately, na, you can't, like, there's no scan that we can do that tells us कि अब वो hole भर रहा है. It's only in the behavior that we figure out that earlier it used to take this long for the child to kind of regulate, and now it's getting better and better and better. So you can't predict कि कितने
Yes.
sessions and all, but this is how it works, ma'am.
You can
So
only
आप
see
कितना
through their
beautifully,
behavior. Yeah.
yes, ma'am. Kitna beautifully vestibular, proprioception and tactile. These three are the magic systems that अगर हमने right way में tackle किया ना, you'll
Yeah.
get results.
Lovely. So, Kinchal, we have already overshot by 15 minutes. There is one question. Would you like to take those questions or
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, Jesslyn says that, what are the different classroom strategies to handle inattention, like a restless behavior or a hand pain while writing, incomplete work, organizational issues?
Okay. So they are all different things. Let's start with inattention and restless behavior. So one of the way to manage there is if I know in advance, like a visual schedule of what is it that I expect in the class today. Second, how long that particular period or lecture is going to last, because kids don't understand time. तो वो हम उनको कैसे explain कर सकते हैं? So I tell them, if you have a shadow teacher, give them like a coin box. And this happens at home as well. So there are 4 coins stuck outside. Every time the time is over, like thoda 5 minutes are done, we put one coin in. When the last coin goes in, that means the period is over. So even if I don't understand counting, I don't understand looking at the clock, I still know when the last coin goes in, something ends. So this helps them focus better and work on their anxiety levels. Second, this is one of the strategy, but That can be helpful. Second is restless behavior. So we see so many children who are kicking the आगे वाला बच्चा, who are fidgeting constantly. So one thing that we can do is अगर हम उनके desk के नीचे एक velcro चिपका दें, which is like a soft velcro, and the child can fidget onto that, keep touching it. We can make them wear fidget spinner वाले watches that they can fidget on, or we can, on the legs of the chair of the desk that they are sitting in, we can put some resistance bands that they can push, because they want proprioception. Why are they restless? They want vestibular and proprioception, and because of that they are doing it. तो हम उनको वो बैठे बैठे ही ये सब दे सकते हैं. And instead of the sitting on the plain desk, if we can make them sit on a wobble cushion, it's a blue color cushion filled with air that the child can sit on, and they can move as and when they want, and that also helps them. So see, whoever has asked me this question, it is not one solution. It is trial and error. We try this. Oh, this is not working. Let's try this one. Okay, this works. And then gradually we figure out a way out. What was the other question? Part of it was
So she said
hand pain
hand
while
pain
writing.
while writing incomplete work.
Whenever I hear this, it is either like a genuine reason, like a dysgraphia, which we see in learning disability. And how do I put it across to parents as well? Imagine that I ask you to write in Kannada. You don't know what is Kannada and how do you write, but I'm forcing you to write. Now you speak in Hindi. In your head, you have to translate it to Kannada. And then you have to write it with your left hand, which is your non-dominant hand. What will you experience? The amount of discomfort that you go through, and top of it the teacher is saying jaldi likho, I'll erase the board. So I will indulge in having hand pain. So that is a genuine one, but most of the times it is an escape, because I don't want to write lengthy things. So I don't know this hand pain is a real thing or not. Or the third reason is that my tone of my fingers and the muscle is so less that I'm fatigued because of writing. So we'll figure out what is it. And incomplete work and organizational issues, again, usually they result out from lack of skills. The demands of the schools are too high, and the skill set that the child has is low, and hence the behaviors that come up. So we'll figure out where the skill set are lacking and we'll work on that. फिर वो sensory भी हो सकते हैं, वो behavior भी हो सकते हैं, वो cognitive हो सकते हैं, anything.
Right. Thank you, Kinjal. Jesslyn, hope that helped. Now, Nisha says that, her son is not yet potty trained. He understands he has to pee. So, but sometimes, he forgets to pee. He doesn't want to go to the toilet. Sometimes it leaks. So, what would you like to, say about this? He's
Yeah.
verbal, and also he's verbal.
Okay. So if this is like just talking about just the potty thing, I will work on interoception. And with interoception, I mean, so where is my bladder? My bladder, my lungs, my stomach, my hunger, everything is in the trunk, right? The core that we have. So the core muscles are lying on top of it. We can't touch the bladder. So all we can do is work on the core muscles that hard that next time when the inputs are coming in, they go faster to the brain before it reaches its peak. So he is registering by the time it is fully, like the bladder is full. Hence the issue. So what will you do is work on the core muscles, like strengthening of the core muscles, the abdominal muscles, the back muscles, the pelvic muscles. Might be next time when I go to the washroom now, and if your child understands, I will say, let's play a game. When I say start, you to start peeing. When I say stop, you to stop peeing. So this way I am working on the muscles of urination. So that also helps my child get more control. And next time if I say thoda sa ruk jao, the child will be able to hold on to that. So interoception is one thing. What is the other part of the question you said? Doesn't go on his own. Also does not tell yet, even though he's verbal. Again, the same thing. Does he understand that this is called bladder being full? And ye hota hai, to I have to say I have to use a washroom. Might be using social stories, might be using the videos that we have on YouTube. You will have a lot of videos that they will show the bladder is full and the child says, feels something wobbly kind of thing in the stomach, and the child goes to the mother and says. So let us give him language of what is it expected out of him. That can also help.
Yeah, actually, when he wants to go, he will touch the private part. Like that's how we also understand, and then we take him. But now the question is, should we take him at regular intervals, or we let him pee a little and let him realize on his own.
Yes. So next time he touches his private parts, we will say, oh, suppose you, so I'll say, Mama, I want washroom, or I want to go to the washroom, or just washroom, or
Washroom.
just toilet, whatever word you say, give him that word, even if he doesn't speak, even if he says stop, get him immediately there. Because he's showing you that signs ke mujhe jana hai, just verbally he's not expressing. But taking him out at regular intervals is not going to help. Let him experience that discomfort and give him the right word. And many a times,
Yes.
if there's a non-verbal child, we can stick a picture also. So every time you feel like that, you have to go and point on that toilet picture, and then I take you to the toilet. And then gradually, that picture that we have, we take it near the washroom, and then the child understands I need to go there.
Okay. Yeah.
Thanks, Kinjal. So what I'll do is, with the benefit of time, I'll just take one last question and then rest. Kinjal is part of a group, so you all can post it on the group, and as and when Kinjal gets time, she'll definitely respond. Kinjal, I'm taking this one question from Priyanka because this is very common, and our parents generally see, struggle with this. So she said nail cut and haircut issue. So something that you would like to highlight on that.
So again, two different things. Let's talk about haircut, because I am seeing a child currently with who's struggling with haircut. So I've given myself 1 month's time, that after 1 month he'll be able to do it. Now, what are we doing? We are incorporating all the strategies, be it sensory, be it behavioral, be it language. Now let's start. What I do is, for the coming 1 month, Mama, his elder brother, and Papa, they are going to go to the salon where we expect him to go eventually. He will just accompany them but not sit for a haircut. He's just going there to desensitize, look at the people around, look at the place, everything. Next, and the parents have to go for the haircut. Huh? And in the clinic, what we are trying to do is, we made a visual schedule of the steps that are involved in the haircut. So you first sit on the chair, then you wear an apron, then you comb your hair, then you spray, then you do this, then you do this. Jo uske steps hain. And there is a toy that we've kept, so he has to pick that one visual and then do it on that toy. So he combs the hair, then he sticks it, then he says abhi spray karna hai, then he goes and sprays it on that toy. So he is understanding कि क्या expected है जब मैं वहां जाऊंगा. Nothing comes out let's say suddenly, so that the anxiety comes up. And then gradually we are trying to do it on him. And simultaneously, we are doing Wilbarger's protocol, which is a brushing protocol that we do to reduce tactile defensiveness, and more so near the back of the neck where the trimmers usually come. And all the all the equipments that the barber will use, which is a paddle brush, which is a spray bottle. We have requested a barber who's just next to our clinic to let us, take it and let the child play around with it. And that is also helping. And then gradually we are trying to simulate a haircut every day with him. That we take a plastic scissor and we try to cut his hair and everything. And hopefully, when a behavioral strategy, when a visual strategy, when a sensory strategy, all of them come together, this will get better. So this is for the haircut. And now talking about nail cut, it's usually what I have seen, parents, because they want their children nails to be very clean, वो बहुत deeply उनको cut कर देते हैं. And that has a very bad association with the child कि मुझे दुखेगा, next time I don't want mama to cut it. And the same child, when he comes to me and I say I'll sit for a haircut, the child will easily sit with me. Sorry, nail cut, the child will sit. So what do we do? Number one, next time you go for a nail cut, tell the child that we are going to cut your nails and I will see to it कि आपको दुखेगा नहीं, if the child understands, or else just take some cream और जहाँ पे भी हमारे nails हैं, the cuticles and the finger ends, हम उसको अच्छे से मसाज देंगे. So I am giving proprioception input over there. So once that is given, it helps me calm down. मेरे sensory sensitivities कम हो जाते हैं. And after the bath, जब भी मेरे nails थोड़े soft हैं, I will usually do it that time and then I will try to cut. And the cut is with the child's permission. Please give me your index finger. Can I take it? Can we cut it? And then I'll count 1, 2, 3 and cut. So that the child knows मैं कब cut करने वाली हूँ. If the child knows बस ये करते ही जाएंगे ना, then the child will be very restless. So again, a behavioral strategy here, a visual strategy over here, and a sensory strategy. So usually this for sure works. And let the nail be a little longer, that's fine. पर वो हमको fear नहीं चाहिए उनके साथ. Hope that this helps.
Yes, Kinjal. Thank you. Thank you so much, Kinjal. I mean, I have no words to thank you for what you have shared today with us. It's priceless. It's just so useful. I think everybody will have some useful takeaway from, today's session. So thank you so much for doing this. I mean, of course, it's our family, so I don't have to thank you. You're doing it for the same family that you belong, but still, finding time from a busy schedule is what we would like to acknowledge you for. And thank you all the members for being part of this uh, Talk to Us initiatives. If you guys are not here, we won't have these initiatives. So I also get to learn along with these initiatives. So thank you so much and have a great evening. Post your questions on the group, and as and when Kinjal gets time, she will answer those. Yeah,
For
so
sure.
bye everybody. Have a good night.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Bye.
Thank you, Sarika.
Thank you.